Thank you guys for joining me on this live. I appreciate you guys being here. I turned off the comments just now because I want to make sure that I'm expressing myself, expressing what I'm here to share, and that you guys can really engage and listen to what I have to say, and affirming that it helps you or any other woman that may have experienced molestation in the past or any type of sexual abuse. So at the end of me sharing, I definitely want to turn the comments back on, and I will. And I'll leave time for like questions and answers, etc., to see what you guys have to say. I just don't want to get distracted as I'm sharing this story. So first of all, I want to say welcome to the sacred space that is Goddess Detox. My name is Olenike Osibowale. I am the CEO and founder of this company, Goddess Detox. We have been in business since 2015 when I was in grad school at BAMU, and I started when I was 23, and now I'm 30 years old, so it's been about 7 years now since Goddess Detox has been here, since I've been selling the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls, the Queen's Vaginal Steam, our Crystal Yoni Washes, and so much more. So my products are self-love inspired, and they are, I like to say, spiritual women's wellness. They are to help women love themselves deeper, to help women connect to their womb space, and to help women understand more of their power, and to also start using their own energy. Because for me, the energy is what matters. It's more than just the physical benefits of my beautiful products. It's about the spiritual benefits. It's about the emotional benefits. So I just want to say, first of all, thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all. I see the hearts in the corner, even though the comments are off. I love the hearts, so keep that going. Keep the hearts going. So today's topic is my molestation story and healing. And I was actually surprised that Spirit wanted me to talk about this. Let me drink this water. I was surprised that Spirit wanted me to talk about this, first of all. And the reason I was surprised is because I've spoken about this story. Like, I have no issue sharing this story. I've shared this story before. I've shared it on my podcast, and I do have a podcast called the Selfish Babe Selfish Talk Podcast, and where I talk about spirituality, self-love, women, etc. So make sure to check that out. But I've talked about this. Like, I have a whole podcast episode on it, but it's been years now since I've talked about it again. So I was just like, that's what you guys want me to share. And that's what came to my mind. And I was just like, okay, we're going to share this story. I am affirming and hoping that as you're watching this, it helps you in your own healing process if you have experienced something like molestation or sexual abuse. Or if you can now share this live right now to any other woman friend that you know that has had this past experience of sexual abuse or molestation. So make sure to share this live with your group chat, share this live with your woman friends, your mom, your friends, your sisters, any really women, any I like to say woman with a womb space, or a woman that doesn't have a womb because of a hysterectomy, etc. Make sure to share this live, because for me, it's just about getting the message out there, sharing my experience, my thoughts, my opinions, and affirming and hoping that it can help you on your self-love journey and your next steps. All right? Okay, cool. So I did write down some notes because I didn't want to be backtracked. And so, yeah, I want to share just a little bit about my background. I grew up in a single-parent household. My mom pretty much raised me and my brother. And I remember when I was 8 years old, my mom had a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend, and we had moved from Florida to New York. And everything was cool. Like, he was basically supposed to be the stepfather. Like, we were living with him in a house. And that was the first time I ever lived in a house. I had grown up pretty much like in apartments. So to be able to have a house in New York or a townhome in New York was new for me. I was 8 years old, and it was kind of cool to kind of have that. And it was also kind of cool to have a male figure in the house, because I had not really grown up with a male figure in the house. I was told that my father was passed away when I was younger, when I was a baby. So I wasn't used to also having a male figure in the house. And I also wasn't used to having my own room. It was just me and my brother that would share a bedroom. And so in this house, I could have slept in another room, because there was actually, I think, like 3 bedrooms. And that was like new for me. And so I guess we kind of got along well. I'll say that. I think at some point he wanted me to call him dad. I always told myself that I never felt comfortable calling him dad. And I just think I didn't feel comfortable just because I just didn't say that word often. Like, I never had to say it. You know what I'm trying to say? So imagine a child never having to say dad or daddy now at 8 years of living, and that may seem very short, but now at 8 years of living, having to say dad or daddy, and you know this person is not like your birth father. So it's kind of awkward for me. I never really said it. And so I just kind of remember that. Like, I remember he would buy me candy. Like, it was overall a pretty great relationship, I feel like, from what I can remember. But but I do have this really like vivid memory of there was a time where I believe my mom was not home, and I don't know if my brother was home. I don't think he was home. And I remember my mom's boyfriend at the time had asked me to give him a back massage, like a regular back massage. So I come into the room, he was laying down on his belly, and I had asked me for a back massage. And so I was like, using my little hands to give him a back massage. I remember even stepping on him a little bit. I don't know if he had requested me to step on his back just because, I'm small, and maybe the weight of my feet on his back wasn't too much pressure, or was the right amount of pressure, but I do remember doing that as well. And then at one point of the massage, I remember him asking me to lay down on top of him. So I'm not going to say imagine this because I don't really want y'all to imagine it, but I really want to explain the story in detail so you kind of get like the story, like what happened. But basically, he's laying down on his stomach, and then he asked me to lay down on top of him. So my stomach is on top of his back, right? And I just remember him grabbing my butt and kind of moving my butt in like this circular motion. And so now he's touching my butt. He's moving it in a circular motion. And I just remember like that being the extent of it. But I also remember from what I can describe as having an orgasm. And for me, being an 8-year-old child, not really knowing what an orgasm is, or not even having the language for that, now being older, being 30 years old, that is what I would describe as having an orgasm. Basically, him moving me around on his butt with his hand on my butt, just moving me around to the point of that. And then shortly after, I just kind of remember getting up, and maybe that was it. And then maybe he patted me on the butt. But looking back, I know that was very inappropriate. I know that it was very inappropriate for a grown man to be touching an 8-year-old child in that manner. And for me, again, not knowing what an orgasm is, but a grown man maybe knowing what that is, knowing what the motions are, touching my butt, for me, that was inappropriate. But as a child, this is how I would describe how I kind of felt like as a child. I feel like as a child, there was a part of me that knew that was inappropriate, but there was also a part of me that may not have known that was inappropriate. Because I just remember like not telling my mom about it and not really wanting to tell my mom about it. So that's why I feel like I knew that it was inappropriate, but I didn't really know why. You know what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense? I just know that he touched me there and I had an orgasm. And, for some people, I know that sometimes you can feel shame for even having an orgasm during an act of that, because it's just like, well, this act wasn't right, so then why did my body react this way, right? And so I wanted to make sure I shared that with y'all, because that was my experience. For me, it was purely a molestation act. It wasn't penetration. It wasn't any of that. And I know that there's some women out there that have suffered from those really, really traumatic experiences, such as penetration, from a young age. And I don't know. I feel like growing up, I feel like I definitely carried some shame around it, because I still didn't tell my mom. Like, I didn't tell my mom at all. And I didn't know why. I just never mentioned it to her. And eventually they had broken up. They were broken up. We had moved out of that house, back to Florida, back into an apartment. And that was kind of it. And I still never said anything. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I said that. I did eventually say something 16 years later when I was 24. And we're going to get into that. But I kind of want to bring you guys to like me being a teenager now. So back in Florida, Now back being a teenager, my mom always had this image of him in our living room. And so my mom still doesn't know. Like, I haven't told her, but I just remember growing up always seeing this image of him in my living room. And I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, y'all not together. Like, why do you have a picture of this man in the living room? Like, I just didn't understand it. And I was like, well, maybe they're friends or something like that. And so I just always remember walking by that picture, not liking that picture. Like, why is this picture here? Y'all are not together. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't even like this man. Like, why is this picture in a living room? Every day I can see this man's photo. And as I'm getting older, I think I'm coming to the understanding that that was wrong. Like, I'm coming to the understanding that that was wrong, that that was inappropriate, and that that shouldn't have been, and I don't know, but that shouldn't have been one of my first orgasms. As an 8-year-old girl, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't remember my first orgasm, so I can't give y'all a time frame, but I know that that was one of my first orgasms, and that shouldn't have been. It's not an orgasm that felt like full of bliss and love, you know what I'm trying to say? So for me, it was just like, that shouldn't have been my first orgasm by this grown-ass man. But here I am in this house having to walk by this man's image. So fast forward a little bit, when I'm in my teenage years, I would definitely describe myself as a smart girl, always got good grades, always made the principal's honor roll. You know, I had honors courses. Like, I did really well in school. Like, I was very smart, did really well in school. And then there was also a part of me that seeked out male attention, or if men would give me attention, I would give it to them right back. If boys would give me attention, I would give it to them right back. Because there was also an aspect of me that, for me, not having a male figure or masculine, so to say, in my household, I felt like I never knew what it really meant to have a man's attention. I never really knew what it meant to, like, have a masculine support you and care about you as a father figure. And so for me, the best that I could get from that was sex. The best that I could get from that was getting the affection of men, being their apple in their eye. And so growing up in middle school and high school, that's what happened. Like, I remember there was a time where my first boyfriend lived across the street, and he was literally my boyfriend. Like, he really wanted to be my boyfriend, and I became his girlfriend. But I was so awkward for me because he was so gushy, he was so, like, sweet, and for me it just felt so fucking awkward. And I was just like, this is awkward. I don't think I want to be boyfriend and girlfriend anymore, but I've always wanted to try having sex. Like, are you down for that? That was my approach to that relationship. I was 14 years old. I was like, I don't want to be your girlfriend, but I'd love to try having sex with you. I just want to see what sex is, because at this point I'm a teenager and I'm actually really curious. I'm just very curious as what does sex feel like? Like, what is this? And he agreed. You know, he was totally okay with not being in a relationship anymore, but we were cool with being friends with benefits. And at 14 years old, I had sex for the first time. And it was interesting. Like, I'm so grateful I didn't get pregnant, y'all, because bitch was not fucking, and I'll tell you, that is a whole nother fucking story, because I did not want to mention this, but I can't not mention this. And I guess because I'm smiling, you guys are like, oh, why is she smiling? This is like, could be horrible. I think the reason that I can look back at this stuff now and like smile in this way is because I'm just like, I don't know, I guess I feel like I've processed these things, and I feel like I'm just like, damn, like that was something that happened. But I'm not going to smile because this is serious. That person that I was having sex with, that I grew really fond of, like I felt comfortable with this person. He wore a condom in the beginning, but then when he was coming, the condom wasn't there anymore. So he would ejaculate on my buttocks, trying to be very scientific here. He would ejaculate on my buttocks. And that happened like that first time that we had sex. But I didn't think anything of it. You know what I'm trying to say? We just kind of cleaned myself up, and that was it. And we did that for a while. But it wasn't until I got older where I was just like, damn, I never once had a conversation with this man or boy. I never once had this conversation with this boy. Why are you taking off the condom? Why are you removing it when in the beginning you start with it, but then you don't end with it? Like, I've never had that conversation with him. And I was 14. He was probably 15, 16. And as an older adult, I think there's just some things that happen in our childhood and teenage years that we kind of just get pushed into in a way, and we don't really have that full understanding of, I should be asking these questions, or even having the words to have these questions and these conversations, or to take a step back and be like, wait, I don't know if that's actually something that I should be doing right now. I don't think that that's what it was for me. I felt like as a teenager, things just kind of happened, and I kind of just went along with it. And looking back as a grown adult, him removing that condom without my permission is not okay. So I want to make sure I say this. It's not okay for your partner that you're with in an intimate manner to remove the condom if y'all haven't talked about it. I feel like that's manipulative. I feel like that's lying. I literally could have gotten pregnant. But I'm so grateful to, I think, my ancestors or somebody for not having me get pregnant, because I could have gotten pregnant as a teenager and I really wouldn't know what the fuck to do. And I don't even know if I would have thought about an abortion at that time. I may have just had the baby. Like, I had a friend that was in middle school with me. She got pregnant at 15 and she had her son. And again, you don't think about this stuff until you're older, and you're just like, damn, 15 was really young. 15 was really young to become a mom. But again, sometimes you just don't think about this stuff until you're an older adult or an older person. We're just like, damn, because in the moment, it was just like, oh, she was pregnant. And that's all I really knew, was that she was pregnant. I didn't understand what she was going through. But like I said, it wasn't okay for him to do that. But let me just say, that's what I would do. Like, if he had a friend, and at times it would be like that. He had a friend, oh, what do you think about this guy? And if I'm interested, then I'm interested. We doing it. If I met somebody else somewhere outside of my house and they psst at me and I thought they were cute, they could get it. That's how it was. Like, it was very easy. And for some people, I mean, I was known as a promiscuous girl growing up. Yes, great grades, all that. But what people whispered about in the hallways and knew me for was, oh, she easy, you know? And so that was kind of embarrassing, because as I grew up, 14, 15 years old, I decided, okay, I need to be celibate. There was at one point in my teenage years where I was like, I have to be celibate, and this is going on too much. Like, I would just meet people or maybe have a boyfriend for a little bit, and these are not people that I would ever date in my grown adult life right now. I mean, this is literally never. But when I was younger, it didn't matter. It was like, oh, you cute? I want to have some freedom. I feel like in my household, it was very stifling for me. And the best freedom that I could feel was being able to have sex with somebody, being able to get that male attention, being able to have that affection from their eyes because I'm giving them something. And I'm able to feel free because I could just be myself in those moments. So I've accepted that. I've accepted the decisions that I've made. And at one point, I was celibate for a little bit, had a boyfriend, whatever. I had stopped just being as promiscuous because I just felt like it was embarrassing. And it really wasn't serving my reputation. I had just stopped. But I just wanted to give you guys that little scenario because I don't think that may have had anything to do with the past molestation, but I kind of want to take you guys through just maybe my sexual identity growing up, or like my sexual experiences growing up. And that was like a major part of my life, that 14 to 16-year-old time frame. So now I want to talk about when I told my mom. And then after I talk about when I told my mom, I want to talk about the healing I did before I told my mom and the healing I did after I told my mom. Because this part matters as well. I want to make sure I told the story. I want to tell you guys what happened. So now I'm 24 years old, and at this time I finished grad school. I have learned a lot about, ancestry, ancestors, African spirituality, crystals, affirmations. We're going to get into that. But at 24, I decided that I'm going to tell my mom. I just felt like I had to do it. I feel like I just needed her to know, even though it happened 16 years ago, even though it happened when I was 8 years old, I just felt like a part of me needed to share my truth. I needed to just tell her. And for me, the reason I had decided to tell her was really for me. I know for me, me being able to express myself, me being able to be myself, me being able to share myself in an authentic way is how I want to live my life. And so that's like a strong value of mine, is to be my authentic self. And I guess I felt like, because me and my mom were working on our relationship, that I wanted to tell her. I wanted to be honest with her. I wanted her to know me as who I am as a person and not just her daughter. And I also just wanted her to know what happened. I didn't want to tell her for her to blame herself. I just wanted her to know what happened, and I just wanted to see, I guess, if she would support me. So I remember one day I went back home to go visit, because at this point I'm not living in Florida anymore. I go back home to visit, and I know that this is part of my mission. I had a mission. It's like, I'm going to freaking tell this lady. And so I think it was like the night before my last night there, I finally mustered up the guts to tell her. We were on the couch watching a show, and during a commercial break, I said, hey, I just want to talk to you about something. When I was 8 years old, your old boyfriend had molested me, and this is kind of what happened. I think I said that. But before I could say that, the show had come back on, and she was just like, oh, can we talk about this at another commercial break or when the show ends? And I said, sure. And that really pissed me off, because I felt like this is a really important thing for me to say. And so for it not to be priority, or seem to not be priority, just kind of caught me off guard. It kind of made me sad. I was just like, is this not more important than the show? Now, as a older adult, I could say, and I don't know, I could say that maybe she just needed some time to gather her thoughts. That's me giving my mom the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she just needed some time to gather her thoughts. I literally just gave her this news that she hasn't known for 16 years from her lover, her ex-lover, like your ex-lover that you loved at one point, still got this man's picture on a damn stand, did this to your daughter. Maybe she just needed some time to gather her thoughts. So this is me giving my mom the benefit of the doubt. But in that moment, I didn't like it. So eventually we talked about it, and I told her what happened. And she was like, wow, she didn't know that. She always thought that maybe when I went overseas, that maybe that could have been a possibility, but she never guessed that this person, her ex-lover, did this to me. And I think that there was a part of the conversation that I did not like. And I'm trying to remember. But I don't know if I want to say this, because I don't want to discredit my mom. But I feel like there was a part of the conversation where it seemed like she was talking about me always seeking to want his attention. And I don't remember if that was mentioned, but I feel like it was mentioned. And I think that also pissed me off. And I kind of just remember going to bed. She said she heard me, and I think I just went to bed. And I remember crying. I remember going to bed, and I had tears in my eye, and I was crying before I went to sleep. And I think I was crying because I didn't really like her reaction. I didn't think her reaction was very supportive. And I don't know, I guess maybe it's the way it's like how people talk about with RAPE victims. And people ask them, well, what were you wearing? What could you have done to entice this person that is grown and can think on their own to do this to you? And I kind of felt like her questions kind of felt like that. It kind of felt like, damn, girl, I'm 8. What are you talking about? I was seeking this man's attention, and even if that was freaking true, I'm fucking 8. What are you talking about? I'm trying to say, that's how I felt, and I was really angry about that. And I think the next day, I think we had some more conversation, and I think it was just able to be a little bit better. I don't remember all of it, but I do remember that she took his picture down. And I remember being happy that she took his picture down, because I always hated seeing that man's photo in the fucking living room and they not together. But she took the picture down, and it's not there anymore, and I'm happy that she did that, and I appreciate that she did that. this is what I want to say. Even though I did not get the exact reaction I wanted, she did do something. And I'm glad that she took the photo down. I'm glad that we were able to talk about it a little bit more. And I'm glad that I was able to just tell her the truth. Like, for me, I just wanted her to know. And I guess for me, that was a part of my healing, was sharing my truth. And let me tell you, this is not the first time me talk about this to strangers. I felt like it was so much more easier for me to tell the world, to tell complete strangers like you, my beautiful goddesses that are watching, this story. Like, it has felt so much more easier, and it just flows. But to tell my mom felt so much more harder. It was not easy. I was fucking nervous as hell. But to be on camera and even talking about this today, I'm okay. I've shared this story many of times. I don't know why that is sometimes. Why is it easier for us to share to strangers than it is to share with the people in our lives? I don't know. Maybe because they know us. I don't know. But I know that a part of my healing has been to share my truth. And so maybe for you, maybe you're a woman out there where you feel it pressing on your throat chakra, where you feel it pressing in your spirit, that I just need to tell my caretakers, my mom, or whoever was taking care of me, that this happened. And I've heard horrible stories where women have told their parents, and it was just disgusting the way that they reacted. Disgusting the way that they reacted. Like, no, like, sense of compassion, no sense of, you're a fucking child, this man is grown. I've seen horrible stories about this. So I'm not saying that sharing your truth is for everybody. I think for me, it was for me. Because for me, that was an expression of letting go. Like, I had to tell her. Like, there was something about it that I had to tell her, and that helped me, even if I did not like the initial reaction. She eventually took down the photo. I was really happy about that. So I'll just say that sharing my truth is something that has helped me, and even sharing it with strangers has helped me. So maybe there's a support group that you have, or maybe there's some sister friends that you have that can be helpful, and a sister friend that you just feel like, I love this woman. I just want her to know this because I just want to share this truth with her. The way that I would go about this is I would be like, hey, sister friend, maybe I'll hang out one day. I have something on my heart that I just feel like sharing, and I just want you to hold space for it. Do you feel like you'll have the capacity? And they say yes or no, and then you share it with them, and you go from there, because sometimes it may not have to be your parents that you share it with. Sometimes it could really just be a close friend or even a lover. Sometimes you're now in relationships with a man or maybe a woman or a person, and you're feeling comfortable about this with this person. You just want to share it with them, and I think that could be a part of your healing. Now, I want to go into what has helped me with my healing, because I told you guys about the molestation. I told you guys about my promiscuity growing up, and I want to tell you guys what has helped me, like, become, I guess you could say, just more confident in myself, more confident in my being, more like choosing better decisions for myself. And kind of releasing that from my spirit in a way that it doesn't really affect me much, really. I know that there's some women out there where even just the thought of what happened can really affect them, affect their spirit, that they have not let it go. And I can't say that I fully understand it. I just know that I have compassion for that. And I just feel like whatever I share with y'all tonight, I hope that it can be helpful on your healing journey as you are healing from that. So yeah, I just remember when I was about 22, 23, I had joined the sister circle, and it was a sister circle in Tallahassee, Florida. And we were all reading the book, Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. Y'all know I'm always talking about this book, but the book is Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, and that is Queen, and then Afua is Afua. And we like, that book is like it's like a 12 gateways. So it's like you have different gateways where you focus on different parts of the womb and different like topics related to the womb, related to your healing, related to your spirit. And it's a woman that wrote this. And so you like do the activities, and you can do it solo, or you can do it with other women. I remember that we just all wanted to do it together. Like, somebody said, hey, I want to do this healing together. Do you want to do it with me? And we said, yeah. And I remember it was like every Sunday we would go over to my friend's house and we would all wear white and we would like focus on a gateway and we would sit and we would share. And I think that was like the first time I had shared my molestation experience with another group of women that I really didn't know. I knew like one or two of these ladies. I didn't know the rest. But the fact that I felt like it was okay to share it because we were all sharing our womb experiences, our womb traumas, our yoni traumas, like what has happened to us. And I've heard of many different stories. Like everybody felt comfortable sharing what they may have experienced. And that was really healing for me. Because in that book, I learned about crystals, I learned about affirmations, I learned about setting up an altar space. And this altar space wasn't for she did have one for the ancestors, but this altar space was for every gateway. Like maybe you want to work on your throat chakra, so you have these kind of crystals, you have these kind of essential oils, you put it on the table, you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. One of the things was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you share. And so for me, that book, I have it. I still have it. I recommend it to every woman around the world. Sacred Woman by Queen Afua has been pivotal within my healing journey, within connecting to my womb, within connecting to my vagina, within releasing past shame as well, because there's so many different healing modalities, such as the fire breaths, which she does like... You breathe in and out fast from your womb space, in and out fast, and that's breath work as people call it today. But the fire breath to help cleanse out certain energy within your spirit. And so for me, I just feel like that is a major tool that all women need to have in their bucket, is the book Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, especially if you're a woman that's if you're on your self-love journey, on your womb healing journey, want to connect to your womb on a deeper level, connect to your womanhood on a deeper level. I highly, highly, highly recommend that book. I also recommend that with the fire breaths, there was a time where taking my spiritual baths have been very pivotal to me. It don't matter what kind of bathtub y'all got, y'all. Like Queen Afua has said, I really believe that your bathtub is like the healing space, like those healing waters. She says your bathroom is like your healing space. And that's because you sitting in your bathtub is so healing for you. And I know that may seem really like simple, but it is that simple. Why? Because of the water. You being in water. Water can help cleanse us. Water can bring things to us. Water can bring messages to us. And so for me, at that time, I was taking so many baths. Like I would just run my bathtub, and I didn't have the prettiest bathtub. I had like a regular ass bathtub. This was when I was in grad school. I think I was paying like $700 a month for rent. And I had my bathtub, I run the bath, I put different crystals like rose quartz, citrine. I would just put a bunch of crystals that I loved. I put the Epsom salts, I put the Himalayan pink sea salt, and I would get into my bath. And I would say my affirmations. Sometimes I would play music. Sometimes it would just be quiet. I'll have my journal, and I would just have that time for myself. And for me, having that time to myself, being in quiet, having a candle burning, has just been so pivotal, because when you're sitting in that bathtub, sometimes you just get so many divine downloads, and it's about that quiet time with yourself, right? When it comes to the experience that I'm sharing with you all tonight, that quiet time with yourself can really help you just love your own energy. Can help you love your own energy. You can take that time to write affirmations for yourself. You can take that time to pray for yourself. I have notebooks and notebooks back when I was in grad school that just said, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. I feel so good about myself. I feel so good about myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. My life is amazing. My life is amazing. I am confident in who I am. I am confident in who I am. And so for me, those things that I did has helped me so much to who I am today, because you may like do it in a moment and feel like it's nothing, but that stuff is so healing for you. That stuff is so healing for you because you are praying for yourself. You are changing the cells in your body. You are changing the way you have viewed experiences. You are forgiving yourself, because even as something like molestation or sexual, I'm not going to say the word, abuse, you can hold a lot of shame, right? There was a period, I didn't tell my mom for 16 years and don't really have the language as to why I didn't say anything, but I know that there was definitely some shame around that. And so for me, having to be able to let go of that shame and release has been pivotal to me. Having to be able to focus on myself, my self-love, my bath time, my affirmations, having my crystals, my fire breath, sharing my truth on fucking online, in person, whatever, has helped me a lot, has helped me to release that trauma, has helped me to release that pain, and has helped me to just kind of let it go and being able to share how I can and have healed with other women such as you guys watching this today. Saying the affirmation, I forgive myself, I feel like helps you to release trauma and shame around that situation, because even in that moment of me telling my mom, it kind of almost seemed as if, dang, like, what was you doing to get this man's attention? And it was like, you can't harbor that. As much as people say, you may know, oh, well, this was a grown person, your loved ones, especially if it was your loved ones that are reacting to you this way, can affect how you think about yourself. Oh, how did this happen? What did you do? You know, like, you may even hold that before you even tell them, if you even decide to tell them. And so as simple prayer that you can say is, I forgive myself. Let's take that time right now. Maybe you're here with me and you're watching this live and this has been an experience for you, but I want you to take this time to put your hand on your womb space. You can do like a little triangle if you want, or you can just do a hug like this. I feel like a triangle feels good for me right now. I want you to breathe in with me. We're going to do 5 fire breaths. So the fire breath is like this, okay? And then we're going to say the affirmation, I forgive myself 5 times, okay? That's just what's coming to my mind right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I forgive myself. 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 I let this go. I let this go. I let this go. I let this go. Move out from my womb space. 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 Let's go to 5 fire breaths. Put one hand over your womb, one hand over your heart, and I want you to tell yourself 5 times that you love yourself. I love me. 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 I want you guys to give yourself a hug right now. Put your hands around yourself like this. And I want you to say, I look naked, don't I? I want you to say, I accept all of me. 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 I allow myself to heal. 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 I allow myself to let this go. 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 Let's see. Wow, that feels good. That feels really, really good. I'm going to turn the comments and I want to talk about how my products have also helped me with my womb healing as well. So I'm going to turn back on the comments, give y'all some time. So now this is the time where you guys can definitely ask questions, share your stories, share your thoughts. I am definitely listening to anything that you guys type. You have the freedom to now share your comments and thoughts. But I want to say this. Queen Afua, I believe in her book, she talks about yoni steaming. Oh, you're welcome, love. She talks about yoni steaming, and she talks about a lot of herbs. Taking in the herbs to nourish your womb, to nourish your body. And so for me, what I sell right now, the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls, oh, y'all loved it. Oh, y'all are saying thank you. I appreciate y'all. Well, I'm happy that has helped. I'm happy that has helped. Yes, a replay will be available. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to send the link as well, and I may just keep it on the page too. Yay, the real. She says, "Thank you so much for sharing. I connected so much with your story. Thank you so much. I love you so much for sharing your story." Oh, well, thank y'all so much for listening and watching. I'm so glad it was helpful. Samsonite says, "This was so helpful. Ashe, love to hear it." Oh, Dreamer25 says, "We love you. Thank you for sharing." Thank you, God. I'm so happy I joined. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Y'all are super sweet. I just ordered that book for you. Yes, that book is so good. Okay, I didn't tell you guys some more healing stuff. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you. Okay, so now hold on. So it says you're my best friend in my head. Okay. Now I gotta turn off the comments again. I love you guys, but I turn off the comments again because I can get easily distracted. Thank you guys for the love. I appreciate it because there's some more stuff that I didn't share with y'all because I had another page. So, okay, so doing Queen of Fua, doing the gateway, somebody had asked me, like, how did I pace myself? I was in a sister circle, and so we kind of did it together. We did it like, I think we would meet every 2 weeks, but sometimes we would just meet and enjoy our company. We wouldn't really focus too much on the gateway. And there was a time where I was a little older. I think when I was 25, I had joined Queen of Fua's 12 like gateway program where I actually flew to New York and like did it online with some other women, and that was cool as well. But I want to tell you guys how the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls has also helped me with my womb healing journey, with accepting myself, with loving myself. Because I told you guys that Goddess Detox is about spiritual women's wellness. And there has been a time back in indigenous culture where women were using herbs for their vagina. Women were using herbs in their yoni space. Women were doing their yoni steams. And even in Queen of Fua's book, she mentions yoni steaming as well. And so for me, using herbs in the vagina didn't feel far-fetched to me. I know for some women listening, that may feel like, what? Like, what? It's not abnormal. It's actually been normal. It's been part of our medicine for years. But because we now have medical school and certifications, sometimes that stuff is wiped away or as seen as farce, as seen as not true, as seen like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But herbs is the original medicine. Plants is the original medicine. And so I appreciate our doctors. I appreciate Western medicine. Okay, I'm going to go to my gynecologist. I'm going to go get my yearly checkups. I am not knocking that. But I am a woman that's also going to use the herbs to heal. And so for me, because I know that the herbs are healing, and because I know that our herbs have metaphysical properties, they're not just their physical properties, they have spiritual benefits, spiritual properties. For me, it made sense to me. And so when I was 23, 24, I'm learning about African spirituality. I'm learning about affirmations. I'm learning about the power of my word. I'm learning about my power. I'm learning about the womb space. I'm learning how to change my reality through my words, through my written word. Like, I'm learning this stuff. I'm living this stuff. And so for me, in terms of my womb healing journey, I had started using what I have now known as the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls. And then for me, I would set my intention. I would pray into the pearl. It's an herb. So for those that don't know about my products, sorry, I'm thinking everybody knows. My Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls are all natural herbal suppositories, okay? They're made with all natural herbs such as angelica, motherworth, and dragon's blood. If you guys look up dragon's blood resin right now, it is known as a powerful cleanser. I could get a dragon's blood resin. I had burned frankincense when I started, but I can get a dragon blood resin and put it and burn it to cleanse. So if I know that dragon's blood is known to cleanse on a metaphysical level, just the air, what is that going to do in my womb space? What is that going to do in my vagina? It's going to cleanse. Because I know about the power of my word and my language, I know that whatever prayer and intention that I'm setting into the pearl is going to take. I know that the herbs are already vibrating on a certain level. I know that my womb space is also vibrating on a certain level. And so that for me, that's a trilogy, right? You have your words, you have your prayer, you have the pearls, you have the metaphysical properties of the pearls, and you have the vibration of your womb. I like to say that when we are carrying the baggage of sexual trauma, of past emotions, unhealed hurt, even physical ailments, maybe maybe infertility, whatever, those things, we may have that as well. We are carrying around pollution in our womb spaces, energetic pollution. And so for me, when you're using something like the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls, or even doing a yoni steam, and you're setting your intention to cleanse and let go and to release, for me, you are letting go of the energetic pollution that is in your womb space. Your womb space is your place of creativity. It is a place that children are coming from another universe into your wombiverse, right? You're bringing spirits into the physical world through your womb. And like knowing that on a physical level, right? So on a metaphysical level, that's your place of creation. That's your sacral chakra. That's your place of ideas. And so in terms of your womb healing and self-love journey, you're going to want to cleanse that space out. You're going to want to say prayers over your womb space, say affirmations over your womb space, right? And so when I used my Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls back when I was in graduate school, I would set my intention. I would say I'm releasing negative emotion. I'm saying that I want to help release this past experience that I've experienced, this past sexual trauma, etc. Those are some of the things that you can say when you're using the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls. It is not just a physical cleanse. It is a spiritual cleanse. It is an emotional cleanse. Okay? Physical, spiritual, emotional. Yeah, physical, spiritual, and emotional cleanse. It is for you to connect more to your womb and understand that this is your sacred space. This is your sacred space of creativity. And it's not just a place for babies. And so if you're a woman that has gone through something as horrible as sexual abuse and sexual trauma, I think that it would be lovely for you to do a detox. I think it would be lovely. And even if it's not the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls, maybe it's a yoni steam, right? For me, when a yoni steam, for those that don't know, because I can't assume that y'all know, a yoni steam is an indigenous practice that women have done for years, especially in African cultures, Caribbean cultures, Latin cultures, and Asian cultures. It's not new. You can go to a Korean spa and get a yoni steam. There are yoni spas or yoni steam spas being built around the USA, around the world. But in these cultures, vaginal steaming basically is when a woman would sit over a simmering pot of herbs, and those medicinal properties of the herbs and the heat will go up her vaginal canal. They had an understanding that those medicinal properties of the herbs would be nourishing to the womb space, right? For me, when somebody has suffered a lot of trauma in their womb space, they're going to be holding on to a lot of past emotion, past trauma, and their womb is going to be more cold than most. When we are adding heat or these kind of nourishing herbs to the womb space, you're warming up your womb. You're nourishing your womb. It's like when you're on your cycle and you have cramps and they tell you, oh, wear socks on your feet because that's going to help warm up your feet so your womb is warm. Or they tell you, or you put a heating pad over your womb space to ease the cramps. That's kind of what these herbs do. And that's what the heat does with the vaginal steam. And so the yoni steaming as well as the detox pearls have been known to help with infertility, PCOS, endometriosis, painful cramping, and that's the physical benefits, lubrication, etc. But on a metaphysical space, what are we doing, right? And so even within my vaginal steam, the Queen's Vaginal Steam, I have the Queen's Complete Vaginal Steaming Set. I always say, I want you to speak your intention into the water. Again, I mentioned taking baths. I mentioned writing your affirmations. I mentioned praying in your bathtub. Why? Because water holds energy. Water is going to hold your prayer. And so when you're doing a yoni steam, you need to be speaking into that water your prayers. For me, when I'm doing my yoni steam, I'm not really doing it a lot for cleansing, even though I usually do it like after my cycle. I'm really doing it to manifest, to attract. You know, I may be like, oh, my yoni is wealthy. You know, on my yoni washes, right? I have affirmations on the back, and I'd be like, oh, my yoni is wealthy. I'm successful. Like, I'm saying affirmations for me to continue to get the things that I want in my life within my yoni steam. And the reason I'm doing that is because I already have the understanding that my vagina and my womb space is a creative space. So if I'm saying these affirmations into the water that's going to go into my yoni, into my womb space, I know that something is happening on a metaphysical level that is changing my cells, my womb, to get me to that, to bring that desire to me. So this is the way that I look at the yoni. This is the way that I'm looking at the vagina. This is the way that I'm looking at my products. I'm not just doing this on a physical level. I'm wanting my goddesses, such as you all, to start looking at your womb space, your yoni, my products, on a spiritual level, on an energetic level. What is it that you desire? What is the prayer that you're wanting? And what is it that you have to release, right? Because you have to cleanse, get rid of the pollution. We can pray, we can now attract, because you can attract and manifest better when you have a clean space, right? When you're feeling down and held down, what do? People sage their house. People have Florida water. I burned some frankincense before we got on this live because I wanted to make sure I cleared the space before I talked about what I was talking about. And so for me, it's the same with your womb space. It's the same with your vagina. You want to cleanse that space energetically of the pollution. So a part of my healing journey has been using my Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls. Y'all can find it at goddessdetox.org. It comes with the booklet, 2 applicators, 2 pearls, and it comes with affirmations, but you also have to set your own intentions. But I also want to talk about looking at the mirror, saying affirmations to your yoni and your womb, and being careful with your sexual partners. I want to talk about this as well. So for me, in my healing, I've done a lot of mirror work. I do my affirmations in the mirror a lot of times. I'm praying to myself in the mirror, because I understand that when I'm praying to myself in the mirror, that energy is coming back to me. It's bouncing right back. It's reflecting back into my spirit. When I'm thinking about affirmations, for me, affirmations are prayers. And for me, these prayers are going into my body and my cells, changing my cells on an energetic level to align to what the prayer is. My prayers may not be things that I may not see in my physical reality right now, but I know that there are things that I want to see, right? And so I know that in order to receive some of the things that I want to see on a physical level, that I have to come into alignment. And so when I'm saying my affirmations, my prayers, I am coming to alignment in my cells, and I'm also coming into alignment within my mind, right? You may be a woman out there that's not confident. You may be a woman out there that doesn't love herself. You may be a woman out there that hates herself. You may be a woman out there that has a lot of shame, and maybe you want to let go of that, right? And so maybe for a woman that's not confident, their affirmation or prayer would be, I am the most confident woman in the world. I am so confident. I am confident wherever I go. People notice how confident I am, right? That may not be the truth right then and there, but it can be the truth. You're open to knowing that that's going to be the truth. So I'm going to say that affirmation in the mirror. I'm going to have it come back to me, into my body, into my cells, because my body is made up of a lot of water. So that's shifting something. And then eventually my mind is going to shift, and I'm going to be starting to do new actions to align with what my prayer is. Why is it that you may not feel confident? Is it how you're dressing? Is it how you're talking? Is it how you're viewing yourself? What actions need to happen, or that are going to happen, so that you're changing, right? That's something that can be done through affirmations and prayers. Now, in terms of the yoni and healing, I have a book called The Power of Looking at Your Yoni, and it's on Amazon. The Power of Looking at Your Yoni on Amazon by me, Olanike Osibowale, Olanike Osibowale, but it's The Power of Looking at Your Yoni. And in this book, I give you affirmations for your womb space. I give you affirmations to say, to take your mirror, to look at your vagina. And these are affirmations for your vagina, for you to use the mirror and say to your vagina. That has been very big for me in my healing, is looking at my vagina and my womb space and saying these affirmations. The reason I'm using the mirror is because I understand the mirror as a tool of reflection. And I know that when I say those affirmations in the mirror, because the mirror is pointed directly to my vagina, I know that I'm praying directly into my vagina. And I know that that is doing something on a metaphysical level on how I see myself and the relationship to my womb and the power that I'm giving my womb. I talk a lot about womb power. A lot of us can feel powerless when it comes to our wombs and our vaginas. Maybe we have a lot of men that we've slept with in the past. Maybe it's just our gynecologists have been the only one looking down there. But as a woman in her womb power, you looking at your womb is powerful, because you're not just letting other people around you look at that sacred space. You're taking the time to look at that sacred place. You're taking the time to see yourself, to see your vagina, to see your womb, and create a relationship, right? When you see somebody at a frequent amount of time and you guys start communicating, you develop a relationship. It's the same thing with your vagina. And so doing this has helped me to heal, has helped me to choose myself, has helped me to choose better sexual partners. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with people that do sex work or those things. Ain't nothing wrong with it. For me, you just gotta cleanse often. There was a girl that had commented, oh, what if, they're a stripper? Just make sure that if you're using the detox pearls, that you want to take a week off and do the cleanse. For me, it's about cleansing and letting go. It's about cleansing and letting go and being okay with you. For me, it's not about what society is saying that's a good thing or what you should be as a woman. I don't look down on the things that people are doing for themselves. For me, it's how do you feel about yourself as a woman? How do you feel about your womb space? How do you feel about the decisions that you are making for yourself? If you're not happy with these decisions, how can you change it? And so for me, doing all this stuff, using the herbs, understanding this stuff on a metaphysical level has just helped me make better decisions for myself, has helped me create a relationship with my womb space, has helped me to look at my vagina in a more metaphysical, spiritual way, which I think is really powerful. And so if you are really a woman out there that is really wanting to cleanse that pollution, wanting to tap more into your self-love, I definitely recommend checking out my products at goddessdetox.org. I definitely recommend the Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls. These are life-changing, especially with you saying your own prayer, especially if you've experienced some of the things that I've talked about on this live. I think if you're just wanting to cleanse on a metaphysical level, apart from the physical, there's a lot of physical benefits, yes, then using the Goddess Detox Pearls could be very helpful in your self-love journey and you connecting to your womb space and your yoni space. If you're a woman that's like, I'm a little squeamish, I don't know about using the pearls, I don't know about using these tiny little herbal balls in my yoni, it's cool. I recommend you start doing your vaginal steams. You can yoni steam up to 4 times a month. Nothing is inserted into your yoni. I sell the Queen's Complete Yoni Steaming Set. It comes with the seat, the herbs, and the gown. You sit on the pot for 20 minutes. You connect with yourself. You pray to your womb. You pray to the water. You're still connecting. And I feel like for me, that quiet time, that intention does so much to change your life. And sometimes you just overlook it. And it's like, no, sometimes it's the simplest things that can help us release some of the heaviest shit. So I think that's everything. I think that's everything. And of course, I have my crystal yoni washes. I have affirmations on the back. Why? Because I want you guys to continue praying into your womb space to have good pussy energy. Okay. So my crystal yoni washes, this is Pussy Power. It has rose quartz on it. I have Wealthy Woman and I have Sex Goddess. All of my yoni washes have crystals at the bottom. And they also have affirmations at the back as well, because you're going to use the soap, you're going to pray into the soap, and then you're going to wash your yoni. Again, it's all about that intention. It's about the energy. Okay, now I'm turning on the comments. I was like, dang, I forgot. Y'all are distracting me. So I'm turning on the comments now. Yes. Woo! All right, so somebody said, Summer Sunlight said, your podcast and your message is so amazing, Goddess. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. Yeah, so somebody says, I'm just curious to know, at 8 years old and being your first orgasm, how do you know it was an orgasm? I think it was me looking back to realize that it was an orgasm. I know that I shuddered a little bit. I know that I felt a feeling. That's what I knew. And so I don't think I knew what that meant at 8 years old, but being an older woman, I'm like, that's what it was. So that's kind of how I knew. So yeah, y'all, thank y'all for joining. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank y'all. I think I said everything I had to say. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. I think somebody had asked a question. Oh, okay. I thought I saw a little question. So thank you guys. This will have a replay It's gonna be on my YouTube channel, which is Olanike Osibowale. Oh yeah, 555 is really good as well. I have not restocked that yet, but Yoni Magic 555, it has a prayer. I seduce myself. The same thing, setting your intention. Same thing with the Selfish Babe perfume. Have not restocked, but get on a wait list by going to goddessdetox.org. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to have the replay on my YouTube channel. I'm going to see if I keep it on here. I may keep it on here as well. But I just want to say thank y'all. If y'all have any questions, you know, you can comment them right now. I think I'm going to stay on for at least 3 more minutes. Alexis K. Tyler. No, I don't know who that is. Who is that? Thank y'all. So somebody says, is it okay to use my detox pearls even though I got it almost a year ago? Yes, it is. I will say to look at the smaller pearl packet, and it will have a expiration date. So as long as you're not past the expiration date, you can definitely use the pearl even if it's been a year. So that's a good question. On each pearl, we do have an expiration date. Oh, wow. Jewel Diamond says, I started using your detox pearls when she was homeless to become one with myself. Wow, that's amazing, love. I hope they helped you during that time. I think that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that so much. Somebody says, how do I partner with you? I have my own business. It just depends. Are you trying to do wholesale? Do you have a physical business? Are you wanting to have an affiliate link? Because we have all of that. Just send us a DM and ask your questions, and my team will get back to you. Somebody says, can I get the pearls and steam currently in Jamaica? You can get the pearls in Jamaica. Make sure you're following Goddess Detox Jamaica. The steams are not in Jamaica as of yet, but the pearls are in Jamaica. So you can definitely get the pearls. So follow at Goddess Detox Jamaica, DM the page, and the WhatsApp number should be available for Jamaica as well. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to go. I just want to say thank you guys for joining. I love you guys. Thank you for your thank yous. I appreciate it. Again, I hope that this has helped somebody out there. I know that it has. I appreciate you. You can find out more information about my products at goddessdetox.org. Link in the bio. Yes, you can steam right after your cycle. Wait like a day after your cycle has ended, and you can steam because it helps kind of clean everything else out. So I steam after my cycle as well. I think that's a good idea. I'm glad they did, Jewel. Thank you. I'm so happy about that. I love you guys, and I'm affirming that you guys have an amazing night. Bye. Yes, you can use the pearls if you have a hysterectomy because you still have the spirit of your womb, and you're still going to get a vaginal cleanse. Bye.